Good morning, my name is Andrew Seski. I'm the business analyst for Pocket Farmer, which is a mobile conifer diagnostics tool, and this has been our progress over the last 4 weeks.
Good day, my name is Akuma as well. I'm the software developer, /the software engineer for the application.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm the communications specialist on the team.
I'm Nathan. I am the plant science pathologist on the team.
And I'm Jack, and I did the graphic design work.
The University of Delaware Cooperative Extension connects the public with university knowledge, resources, and research with youth, community, agriculture, and family needs. Working with us are academic supervisors, Michelle Rogers, who is the Assistant Dean of the College of Ag and Natural Resources, as well as the Director of Cooperative Extension, and Nancy Gregory, who is the Extension Agent, as well as Director of Plant Diagnostician. They've been working in this field for over 25 years. What they found was that there's a gap in this field where when farmers face any problems with their crops, small or large, they contact the Extension for expert diagnosis. What the idea behind this app was to create a tool that complements the Extension but does not replace it. So we came up with this app that would help farmers catch diseases early on and prevent a widespread issue on their farm. So that's the inspiration behind Pocket Farmer. Now I'm going to pass it off to Nate for some overall statistics.
So the average Christmas tree farm typically can grow around 1,500 trees per acre. And in 2012, Christmas trees were a $1 billion industry nationwide. However, it does take about 6 to 10 years for a Christmas tree to reach a saleable size. And the yield is typically around 40 to 75%, or 450 to 900 trees left for sale. Where do these trees go? They're typically lost to infestation by insects, severe weather, labor force mistakes, or size, too large or too small for sale. But the leading cause is typically diseases, and these diseases are typically able to be prevented. That's around $21,000 to $50,000 in losses, and that's not including the chemicals or the labor it takes to treat those trees with the problems. The cooperative extension, like Michelle was saying, has allowed farmers to bring samples to a professional and let them diagnose the problem that they are seeing. We'd like to do them one better with Pocket Farmer and give them this tool that allows them to diagnose their own crops. The features that Pocket Farmer would include would be analysis of the diagnosis of the problems. It would also include tracking and also the ability to learn about the diseases and the symptoms associated with Christmas trees. This would not eliminate the diagnostician, but it would show the farmer the symptoms that they need to look for and potentially give them the capability of to recognize the problem sooner before it gets out of hand. However, there are too many specific types of diseases out there to get the correct diagnosis every time. So that's why it's still important for the farmers to still contact the local professionals to confirm the results of the app. Now, by providing the information from Pocket Farmer to the diagnosticians, it will allow them to be quicker and more thorough with the recommendations and treatments. And now Michelle will talk about the market overview.
So with our target market consisting mostly of people who do not use smartphone technology on the job daily, we wanted to create a platform that was incredibly easy to learn and use. We wanted to find out what farmers would find beneficial and helpful in an app. So we researched many agricultural apps. What we found was that there are many on the market, however, most don't have that many downloads. These are a few of the most popular apps out there, such as Tomato MD, Check-It, Rice Doctor, Pioneer 360. We compiled a list of features that users found very helpful and that they liked through these apps, such as the seasonal calendar, which provided information on the conditions of that time of year, what your tree or crop should look like, different symptoms that should be there, shouldn't be there. Also the GPS location where you can save a point on your fields and come back to it at a later point. Through this, we narrowed down what we felt, what features would be successful in our app. Just to touch upon a few main features, we have the seasonal calendar where we provide pictures of symptoms of an unhealthy tree at that time of year or a healthy tree at that time of year, what pests are prone to that time of year, and the Christmas trees and diseases around that season. Also, we have the take photo option where users can actually take a picture right out on the field of their crop or their tree, of a healthy tree, or save it or share it with the extension or professional for diagnosis. I'm going to pass it to Akuma, who will go in depth further of our features.
Hi again, my name is Akuma, and I was a software developer / the software engineer for the application. While doing my research on application development and so on, I recently noticed that there were two different kinds of interfaces utilized by iOS and Android applications, which were the user-guided application interfaces and the app-guided application interfaces. And also, I did the general relationship between, the correlation between the app design and app interface as well. Something I noticed was that to boost the application efficiency, the application design needed to be as minimal as possible and also follow a sequential order, which kind of boosts the simplicity of the application. And the app-guided user interface allows the user, in a sense, navigates the user across the application instead of the user having to figure out what this button does and what this button does and have to navigate the application for themselves. In one sentence, the application summary as well is the application is a conifer-based diagnostic tool, and it comes with a built-in conifer / a disease encyclopedia and a plant disease / location pinning tool. The target audience for this application for now is the Christmas tree farmers / inspectors, nurseries, and landscapers. And the core benefits of the application is that you have the ability to learn, detect, control disease spread on the go, and supportable aspects into the mobile application. The platform right now is the iOS platform. It can be expanded to the Android platform as well, but you do not need an upgrade on your current iPhone to be able to use the application, since it's for iOS 4 and above. And I'm now going to go into a brief demo of some features of the application. Okay. Give a brief overview of the application. This is the first screen you see when you come into the application. As you can see, there are 4 options, which are specifically designed for accomplishing specific tasks. The 4 options are diagnose, which you can see attempts to determine your plant's disease based on the symptoms you enter. And the learn page has information about diseases and trees that you can learn without having to go through the diagnose page. The contact us page is if you go through the diagnose page and you're stuck and you do not know how to proceed, you can contact the extension. There will be a link in the contact us page for that as well. And the My Stuff page is for accessing your saved pins and your saved locations for ordered Christmas trees on your farm, etc. I'm going to quickly go through the diagnose page. As you can see, clicking on the diagnose page is a pop-up explaining that you're about to take a questionnaire and you should enter the answers as accurately as possible for the best results. As you can see, you can expand views to compare pictures. You can expand the views to compare the pictures you have on the application with the live tree you're currently seeing. And I'm going to select Scotch Pine for now. You can select the time of the year as well. I'm going to select June as a test year. And you can select what part of the plant that's affected. And I want to point out that the first three options are really detrimental in narrowing the results for the rest of the application as well. Click the bottom tree. And you can also expand each of these images to confirm first. And you can click to filter your images, filter your diseases. And clicking on the suggested diseases can take you to a web view explaining, which you can also zoom in and scroll through, which holds information on maintenance and pictures showing symptoms as well. That's all the time I have to download the questionnaire. We're going to move on to Jack to explain the application design.
To save on time, I'm just going to start while he picks it up. When it came to establishing a brand, we came to a pretty big roadblock. With just under a month to get everything together, we didn't have a lot of time to really think of a name that fit. So we sat back and we started just listing off every word we could possibly think of that was even sort of remotely relevant to the app. And so we had a chalkboard full of information, and from there we created, in retrospect, pretty cheesy names like Needle Nurse and Treatment. But eventually, we didn't really feel like those were finished or final ideas, so we kept working, and in a last-ditch effort, we had a crunch, and we stuck with the name down in the corner, Pocket Farmer, which was just vague enough that if we ever chose to expand it beyond trees, we could, but it was still enough information to tell you pretty much what the idea was. It was basically just you have all the knowledge of a farmer in your back pocket. And then in terms of the design and the look of the app overall, we wanted something that was stuck in line with the user friendliness and the more direct stuff. So we went with a more direct text-based menu, which you can see on the next slide. And this is going to be the final look of the app. What Kuma showed you was more of a wireframe, but in the end, what was up there a second ago is the final version of what the app will look like. We stuck with a simple but memorable P and a name that was pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to throw it back to Andrew to finish up.
Just 1 second.
So now that we've heard some of the context of the problem, some market research, the technical features of the app, and the user-centered design that Jack just spoke on, I think it's important that we take a step back to talk about where we have come and where we plan to go. So 4 weeks ago, 5 strangers met in a room with Michelle and Nancy with just a really simple request, just to aid Delaware farmers with a unique and innovative app, which was pretty broad and gave us a little bit of trouble to get started with. But we really utilized our unique and diverse backgrounds and experiences to come together to spur creativity. I think that's one of our major attributes for the success that we've had so far. But again, it wasn't all easy. We learned from cold calling these local farmers that there is a culture gap between new technology and the tendencies of these farmers. Something that the Cooperative Extension has been working with for over 100 years now. And we wanted to have that same commitment towards changing the culture. So right now, all of these farmers are working with really very reactive responses, and we want to shift that culture to being proactive, meaning that they will be able to save time and stress, but most importantly, money. So what we want to do is take this product to the market to really decide which features that we are set on, as well as adding some freemium features as well, so that you can download the application for free, but that unique and more extensive features will come at a price. We also plan on using promotional resources already available through social media. We'd like to create a platform for farmers to be able to discuss what's going on their farms from across the country so that they can be more well-informed and more empowered than they ever have before. Also, it's great to understand the fact that if they can all have similar resources to communicate, that they can understand how diseases can spread or be contained. And there are extensive expansions on how that can be played out through other fields as well. Who's to say that that same technology couldn't work in the U.S. if there was an epidemic spreading? So the expansions are endless, as I just mentioned. But what we plan to try to capitalize on is the capture and movement trend towards collecting big data. So I think that, again, our multidisciplinary backgrounds really have allowed us to thrive in the short period that we've been able to work with. But that it ultimately has given us some great personal experiences and something that we'll take forward on through either this project or many other projects to come. So thank you for your time.
Any questions?
Sure.
I'm Mark Rigger, I'm Dean of the College of Ag and Natural Resources, so thank you. It's been wonderful. Love seeing our students excel, and a lot of them outside the college helping. This is great. Every smartphone has a camera. Do you ever see a day, especially for you over here, where you might be able to take a picture and analyze the image and then have a diagnosis pop up on the screen?
Yes, there are features like that. For example, the Google Glass and the Google Search, where you can put on the goggle and read something, and it automatically searches it up for you. There are features like that, but the most important thing is the funding for these applications as well.
So how much do you need? We'll talk.
I think the one difficult thing with that would be that there are so many specific details that you have to look into, like the different spores, the different sizes, what it is that is causing it. It would be very hard to get that initial database with all the photos to compare it to really get an accurate assessment of what that would be. And they do have an app where you can identify a tree by a branch or a couple leaves of some sort. But what you need on the field is a straight, flat piece of paper, and to be able to take a picture of that on that piece of paper. So it's kind of harder to implement in the field, but there are ways to do it. It's just getting to that point is a little difficult.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
I recognize you've only been working together for a very short time, but do you have any plans like for beta testing with the formers of this, some of the formers around here to get feedback while you're still in the development stage?
Yes, there are some portions of the application which I didn't get the chance to demo that have been completed. For example, the My Pin section, which you can pin the location of your trees and all around your farm, and you can also attach images of the pictures you take of the trees and pin them to the locations as well. We see that expanding to using map features, so you can actually see the pins on each map. And for now, we're beta testing the My Pin section, but if we test this successfully, we can implement the map feature as well.
But to be clear, I think you're talking about your in-house testing.
Okay.
Saying that you have it in informer's hands.
Oh,
On that
okay.
side, their usability beta testing to give input to you.
Absolutely, yes. As I mentioned towards the end, we were planning on going to actually be with the farmers as they use them to decide on what features we'd like to keep and what features we'd like to add, especially if we can decide on freemium features, as I was discussing towards the end of the presentation. But absolutely.
And of course, it's tied very closely to the extension service, so there's a natural pathway into the marketplace.
Would this be a free app, or?
Initially, we want it to be free, just for promotional purposes at first. But the idea would be to have certain features that would come at a cost. And from the research we did, from how successful applications have been on the iTunes Store, with an application like this, the audience being deterred away initially by an initial price is something that we couldn't really afford. So we're planning on having an initially free download, but that certain features, once it's already on their phone, that they're more likely to purchase one of the necessities of the application.
And if it became popular, is there a chance for the Ag Extension Office of the College of Ag to participate in the revenue stream for that?
I believe so, yeah. that might be a Michelle question, but
You and Mark need to talk though.
I think that's all the time we have for questions. But thank you again.